There are musicians who make more money dead than most artists will ever make while they're alive. Every single year, their songs, their image, and even their names keep generating tens of millions of dollars. Not from touring, not from new albums, but from a machine that keeps printing money long after the artist is gone. In this video, we're counting down the dead musicians who still make insane money every year. From legendary rock icons to pop superstars and power vocalists, you'll see exactly how their estates turn nostalgia into one of the most profitable businesses in music. And spoiler, number one is not just rich. He's in a completely different league from everyone else on this list. Before we jump into the list, here's how this ranking works. We're not just looking at how rich these artists were when they died. We're looking at how much money their music and image keep generating every single year after they're gone. Through streaming, catalog deals, movie and TV licensing, merch, museums, tribute shows, and more. These are realistic estimates based on public reports, industry averages, and what similar catalogs have sold for in the music business. They're not perfect down to the last dollar, but they show who's really turning legacy into a cash machine. With that in mind, let's start at the bottom of the list with an artist whose estate quietly pulls in more money than many current chart toppers. Number 7 on our list is an artist whose comeback story turned into a financial empire, Tina Turner. For years, Tina was known as the queen of rock and soul, selling over 100 million records worldwide and packing stadiums across Europe and North America. But the real money machine didn't fully start until later in her career when she rebuilt her image, her catalog, and her business on her own terms. Today, a big part of Tina Turner's posthumous earnings comes from her song catalog and publishing rights. She sold a major stake in her catalog and a reported multi-million-dollar deal, which means her songs keep generating money through streaming, radio, and licensing, and the companies that bought those rights keep paying out. Add to that the Broadway musical based on her life, film and TV placements using her biggest hits, and continuous streaming of classics like What's Love Got to Do with It? And you get a steady, high six-figure to low seven-figure income stream every year tied to her name and music. Tina may not top the charts anymore, but in the business side of music, her catalog, her story, and her image are still working full time, which is why she easily earns a spot on this list. Number 6 is an artist whose voice alone could sell out arenas and still sells movies, soundtracks, and streams today, Whitney Houston. During her lifetime, Whitney sold hundreds of millions of records worldwide and became the face and the voice of one of the highest-grossing soundtracks of all time, The Bodyguard. But the most interesting part is how that success keeps paying out long after her passing. A huge slice of Whitney's posthumous earnings comes from catalog and soundtrack revenue. Songs like I Will Always Love You and her other hits continue to dominate playlists, radio rotations, and sync deals for film and TV, generating millions in royalties that still flow back to her estate and rights holders every year. On top of that, biopics, documentaries, tribute shows, and constant re-releases of her live performances help keep her brand active, which pushes streaming and licensing even higher.
The result is a steady, multi-million-dollar annual business built around one of the most powerful voices in music history, and a clear spot in this ranking.
Number 5 is an artist who turned being different into a lifetime of influence and a posthumous gold mine. Prince. Prince was famous not just for his music, but for how aggressively he fought for control of his masters and his publishing. That control matters a lot today because it means his catalog, from Purple Rain to deep cuts only fans know, is still one of the most valuable in pop and rock. After his death, the contents of Paisley Park, his unreleased vault recordings, and his massive catalog became the core of a business run by his estate and partners. Every time a Prince song is streamed, licensed for a movie, played in a commercial, or reissued as a special edition, money flows back into that structure. Add in tours of Paisley Park as a museum, tribute shows, and a constant stream of anniversary editions and deluxe releases, and you get a machine that can generate solid 8-figure revenue over the years. For an artist who once wrote slave on his face to protest the music industry, Prince ended up building one of the most powerful legacies, artistically and financially, which earns him a strong place on this list. Number 4 on our list is the man who helped define rock and roll rebellion and turn that image into a never-ending business, Elvis Presley. Elvis has been gone for decades, but his brand is still everywhere. Movies, biopics, Vegas shows, impersonators, merch, and of course, Graceland, one of the most famous music landmarks in the world. All of that adds up to serious money. A big share of Elvis's posthumous income comes from tourism and licensing. Graceland alone brings in millions each year from tickets, tours, events, and fan experiences tied directly to his legacy. On top of that, his music catalog keeps streaming numbers high, with classic tracks constantly being rediscovered by new generations on platforms like YouTube and Spotify. Add in film and TV placements, estate-approved projects, and regular reissues of his classic albums, and Elvis remains one of the highest-earning dead celebrities in the world. Proof that the king title still means something in pure business terms. Number 3 is an artist whose myth has only grown since his death, and whose image is practically a global logo, Tupac Shakur. Tupac's official album catalog isn't as large as some rock legends, but his influence is everywhere in documentaries, biopics, merch, murals, TV shows, and constant re-releases of his music. That cultural weight translates into serious money. Every year, Tupac's estate earns from streaming and catalog sales, as classic albums and posthumous compilations continue to perform strongly across digital platforms. On top of that, there's a steady flow of revenue from documentaries, scripted series, licensing deals, and branded merchandise that keeps his image active for new generations. In the modern music business, where hip-hop is one of the most dominant genres, Tupac's name still carries enough power to move both culture and cash, easily putting him among the highest-earning late artists on the planet. Number 2 is a band whose frontman became larger than life and whose songs still fill stadiums, movies, and playlists worldwide, Queen, led by Freddie Mercury. Even decades after Freddie's death, Queen's catalog is one of the most valuable in rock history, with anthems that stream in the hundreds of millions and appear in everything from commercials to sports events to movie trailers.
The success of the Bohemian Rhapsody biopic only boosted that momentum, driving new generations to discover the band and pushing catalog revenue even higher. Today, Queen's posthumous earnings come from a mix of streaming, touring under the Queen name, licensing, and merchandising. Surviving band members and the estate benefit from sold-out tours, massive sync deals, and constant reissues and box sets that keep the brand in circulation. Put simply, Queen operates like a global franchise, and Freddie's legacy sits at the center of a rock business that still prints money every single year. And at number one, in a league of his own when it comes to posthumous earnings, is the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Michael was already one of the highest earning artists in history while he was alive, thanks to record-breaking albums like Thriller, Bad and Dangerous, plus massive world tours and merchandising. But the truly staggering part is how much his name and music have continued to generate since his death, with estimates often putting his posthumous income well into the tens of millions of dollars per year and cumulative earnings in the billions. A huge share of that money comes from catalog and publishing deals. Michael owned valuable music rights, including stakes in catalogs beyond his own songs, and his estate has been involved in some of the largest catalog transactions the music business has ever seen. Every stream, every radio play, every sync in a movie, series, commercial, or video game adds to that pile. On top of the catalog, there are shows, documentaries, biopics, and branded experiences built around his legacy, which keep the Michael Jackson brand active worldwide. Tribute tours, theatrical productions, long-running shows in major cities, and constant re-releases of his work all create multiple revenue streams that very few estates can match. Put simply, Michael Jackson isn't just the king of pop. He's the blueprint for how a music estate can operate like a global media corporation. Even without a single new performance, the business around his name still out-earns most living superstars, securing him the undisputed number one spot on this list. So, what does this ranking actually tell us about the music business? First, it shows that for the biggest artists, the real money isn't just in touring or selling records while they're alive. It's in owning valuable catalogs, building strong brands, and staying present in culture for decades through movies, series, playlists, and live experiences. These states that manage these legacies like serious businesses are the ones turning nostalgia into steady, long-term cash flow. Second, it proves that in 2025, music has become a true asset class. Investment funds, major labels, and publishers are paying huge sums to buy or control rights to songs from artists like the ones on this list, because they know these catalogs behave almost like financial products: predictable revenue over time, global demand, and constant discovery from new generations via streaming. And finally, comparing these dead musicians to many living artists shows a brutal truth. A strong legacy, smart rights deals, and a powerful story can be worth more in the long run than any short-term hit. For the right artist, the music doesn't just outlive them. The business does too. If you made it this far into the video, you're clearly the kind of person who doesn't just listen to music, you study the business behind it. So if you enjoyed seeing how these legends still make money long after they're gone, make sure to like this video so more people can find it. Tell me in the comments, which artist do you think should be on this list or deserves a full money breakdown next? There are so many names we could dive into, from rock icons to rappers to pop stars, whose estates are quietly making fortunes every year. And if you want to go even deeper, the next video will break down exactly how Michael Jackson's estate is structured, how the biggest catalog deals around his music were made, and why some people in the industry say his posthumous business is both genius and ruthless. This is Behind the Hits. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the music industry, sometimes the biggest hits are the ones still cashing checks long after the artist has left the stage.